So Roland just released a TR-1000. From the video that I saw, it's a great machine. Unfortunately, I don't have one. At this price point, I guess it's a little bit hard to justify as mostly a hobby. Took some notes, and there are some features and stuff that I really like. But my first impression was it's a little bit bigger than kind of the product photos points out. I think I saw a video where it was next to the 808 and 909, and it kind of is like bigger. I guess it wants to be the centerpiece of your setup. In specs, I guess the things that I like is the outputs. Many outputs. Many. 10, I think, outputs. If you watch my SP404 kind of workaround videos on outputs, I think there is no complaint here. Another thing that I really like was the electron-like morph crossfader. There was also the tuning parameters on the analog sounds. I think that was not existent on like the originals. So that's also kind of cool. The two layers channel, I think it was, where you can have like two channels, two sounds on one channel. I think that's an interesting feature. And of course you have like the filters, the drives, the kind of analog effects, the master analog effects, where you have like a, I guess, circuit track, like low pass and high pass filter, and then drive, of course. Who doesn't like drive? Have like two mixers that are primarily for drives, so that's kind of cool. Analog drive. One thing that also kind of like about this was the SP404 like features, let's say, where there are some familiarities with like the SP404 Mark II. So in things like the pattern chaining, so you can like chain the ABC kind of patterns, sampling, resampling, and sample chops. That's SP404 like. Even the naming convention of the knobs, like the CTRL, that's like CTRL, SP404, man. Also the effects, the SP404 effects, DJ Looper. It has DJ Looper. I mean, DJ Looper is SP404 all day. But even kind of like the effects in general, the menu layout in general, that was kind of reminiscent of the SP404. It has even features that the SP404 doesn't have currently, which I would really like to have, like probabilities, kind of a song mode, not a workaround, but a song mode. And even the sample chops, I think there is like a whole non-destructive sampling. That was really cool. But all in all, I think this kind of points out I guess my understanding is Roland is kind of unifying maybe the user experience of their product through the operating system, through the layouts, interface layout and things like this, through things like TR record mode, 16 minutes, I think, of sampling, BPM syncing, stretching, these sort of things, pattern chaining, these sort of things. So there is an idea of kind of unifying the whole user experience, I think. One thing that I'm also really happy they mentioned somewhere, I think it was mentioned by the project manager or project lead of the TR-1000, is that they wanted it to be to feel like an instrument, not a computer. You know, with kind of newer product, sometimes you kind of feel like, okay, it's going to be have like a DAW like operating system and maybe kind of a touch screen and these sort of things. So that was a pretty cool thing to mention. Of course, this is, I guess, their first lineup, so maybe, who knows, the other device might not be like this. But one thing that kind of made me think in this new product is, what does this mean for our beloved SP404 Mark II? And I think, I mean, I don't work with Roland. This is just a shirt because I'm a fan. But I think this potentially means some sort of a new product lineup. I mean, this is a great first introduction to that new lineup, I think. The whole idea behind it, and then the product itself, but the idea behind it. I think it's a great introduction. But I think perhaps, unfortunately or fortunately, the product, the SP404 MK2 product life cycle might come to an end. From the manufacturer, of course, not like from the users. At this point, the SP404, I think, is what, 6 years old. So maybe in the next couple of years, no more firmware updates. Maybe a new product life cycle. Bad or better days ahead, man. That's it. So yes, the TR-1000. I'm not sure if it's really a product for me, I guess. Although great features, I'm not sure about like convenience. I just took the SP404 on a trip, and I'm not sure I can take that like in my backpack and things like this. And also something that they mentioned is like it's meant for pros, or kind of aiming towards pros, like the 808 and the 909 were back then. Are you a pro? I don't know if I am a pro, kind of pro musician. I'm a hobbyist, I guess. I am looking forward to eventually this kind of new product lineup that potentially they have. I mean, introducing the TR-1000 as maybe a first product in that lineup is I think is a great thing. I really like this, and that's kind of say something, the whole product. Maybe an SP404 MK2, or maybe like a 555 format like SP. But like, although I'm not really for those kind of like DAW in a kind of a box idea. I mean, the TR-1000 is kind of spec for I guess like they say pros, but essentially like has a certain spec and of course certain price tags that comes with it that may not be for the frugal producer like myself. So yes, I mean, whichever they come with, maybe like a DAW in a box type of thing, you know, it's always looking forward for something like this. But until then, I will continue using my SP404 MK2 because it's what I have and it's what I like. It's a really cool devices, man. So yes, that's all that I wanted to talk about. TR-1000. Kind of looking forwards for what's next, I guess. So yes, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.